Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith in the Black Channel here at Ticker Talker, and we got a little bit of a snoozers here. So let's take a look. One of the things I want to talk about today is nailing down a universe to trade. I talk about a lot of things. If you're like, Rob, man, you're talking about 50 million stocks. How do I narrow this down, right? And there's a couple ways to do that. But right now, let's take a look at what's going on here. So you got the SPY, and yesterday was an outside day. We took out both sides. Then we come in today, inside day, right? And we're nowhere near not taking that out as we start to back off a little bit here, right on the new 60, right? Always watching those new 60s, right? So here, you got a little rally back, right? Gap down, two down because this is lower than that, then two back up. And now you got a new 60 backing off here, and we can expect that as this inside day cooks, if you will. So then we would come in tomorrow and then we'd have an outside inside day on a Friday, which could be good because oftentimes when they pay up and sell down and then come inside, next move is the real move. And if that happens on a Friday, you got some cheap options to go after, which is nice. So you can see here on the weekly, we do take out last week's highs, right? And then we just kind of stall out. And that's what we call exhaustion risk, right? There's no pivots to come through. You'd rather come ripping back through a previous range than going up in the highs. But there's three outside, inside could get interesting for tomorrow, but for right now, a bit of a snoozer. So one of the things you want to do when you nail down your universe is very simply could be watching the SPY versus the diamonds versus the Qs versus the small cappers. Because if you saw this here and then you go to QQQ, here, you'd see, look at this. Q's slightly take out yesterday's lows. But here, Doji on the day, that's doing nothing, man. We went inside in the 60, it was doing nothing, right? And so when you look at the monthly, you're going to see this. Once again, look at the ranges of the opening and close. This thing's doing nothing, all right? Tried to go inside week and up and now backing off. So hopefully we get a rev strat for next week. That would be nice. But you can see comparatively from the SPY being inside, the Qs being a doji, and then looking at the diamonds. See the difference right there? That would tell you that's where you'd want to be today, right? And so when you can always gauge all those things next to each other, right? And say, okay, it's the diamonds are going with the highs. Diamonds not having any problems. So you got here open as the inside 60 and up. And now you're stalling out a little bit. A lot of these things, exhaustion risk and going into the highs, but it definitely told you where the diamonds would be if you go to small cappers. Here you can see takes out yesterday's highs slightly, it looks like, and doji on the week doing nothing. So if anything, it was the diamonds. And so if you go looking at the diamonds, you're going to see Honeywell here, inside day, boom, it doesn't gap. That's exactly what you want because you want to trigger stops anybody who's short against this thing here, the inside month to the upside. Now you go into exhaustion risk because you hit the highs, but that would tell you that's where you wanted to be. Now you're inside in the 60. We'll see. A little quick on here, but I think if you go down to a 15er, still a little quick. But here's what you'd look for. Take out the high, take out the low slightly. 2, 2, boom. Nice 15 minutes you got there, Rob. Thank you. There's Honeywell. Also, we can take a look at IBM. And IBM here, once again, outside month, lower middle. Inside month, boom. Now looking for the real move. They're willing to pay up, willing to sell down, inside. Now we're looking to take this out. Targets to take this out, 132.24. So you got a little bit more room, like I said, on this flip. A lot of things starting to back off, and that's okay. We can expect that, especially on an inside day in the SPY. So if we go to Triple M, once again, that same pattern. Outside month, inside month, boom, hits magnitude and then picks up a little bit more steam. Here, we had that inside day yesterday, tried to come back after. See this exhaustion here, upper left? When you take out the highs, it stopped everybody out. The buyers didn't step up until today. Opened on the low and off it goes, right? So we'll see what comes further of that. If you go to UNH, healthcare, and healthcare got them good yesterday, and I'm going to explain that this here yesterday and how to play that because it was Fed day, right? So now that we come back in, once you take that weekly opening, daily opening 60 and all this kind of stuff, you're still outside month, pokes down, boom, 322, and we're still looking to take this out, highs. 367.49. All right, and that also tells us to look at like ANTM here coming up. You can see that having a nice month, a nice little day. Humana. Still watching Centene CNC, like so. CNT here on this 2-2 month are just barely taking it out. You can see it's been a little choppy in here. Took out some lows, but now looking to go outside day and take all this out. So sometimes these patterns, they don't want you in. So you can see I actually did that. Look at that. To the tick-tock, ticky broadening formation for you. So, but if we go back to just watching the broader averages, you can also go down to just watching the Dow, right? Just watching the Dow 30 and looking at the strength and weakness in there. And oftentimes it'll just stick out like a sore thumb. So one of the things that we're looking for in a Fed day was when the SPY starts running, market starts running like it did, right? Ooh, Fed, get, boy, right, starts running, all that kind of stuff. As soon as it stalls out a little bit, it's called a event continuity. And what that means is when that news comes out and the market starts running, I want to know anything that's trading below where when that news came out, exactly when that news came out. And so if you did that, you would have seen in the Dow, Triple M did this here. Triple M, boom, 2260 down. If we go to the 30, since it came out at the top of the hour, you can see this. 2 up, 2 down, boom, you would have known to be short Triple M. You would have also known at UNH. They hit the healthcare too. As soon as that came out, that news came out, up she goes, and then boom, down she goes. As opposed to trying to chase the rally, what we want to do is be able to identify people in losing positions. So if you were long in either of those stocks when that Fed news came out, the market starts rallying, you're very happy, aren't you? But your stock starts going down, and that's a little thing we call stick it to them and stop them out, and that's what drives that down. If we go back to Home Depot, and Home Depot, we've been looking for this one for a while, the outside month, 284.68, 284.56 came up just shy, so we'll see if that resets up for you. Like I said, a little exhaustion risk, so they back them off here a little bit. On this, always talking about the 60. And the flip, the bottom of the hour. Now look what's happening here. 2-2 reversal on the SPY 30. 2 up, 2 down off the flip. If you go to the 60, you'll see this. Still inside. So it would get worse if you can take this out and go 2-2 back down off the 60 on the SPY, right? Okay, so if we go to RH. In RH here, looking for things that are inside weak to the upside and still holding on. Right now, inside on the 60, stalling out as the market starts to pull back a little bit, but good for the rest of the day and tomorrow on the weekly basis. So we'll see how that goes. Sets up for you. Little runners at JFIN. How's this thing doing now? JFIN pulls back in inside on the 60, and you can see this too, countering the market and be like, as soon as that 60 opened back up, right, starts to pop a little bit because it's green on all time frames, including that 60. But we'll see. We got some distance on that to set up. Mother bar problems because you're in the middle of all this, but moving around. UPST. And trying to go inside in the 60. This would be directional, which you can see this here. Going inside on the 60. This has had a real nice move today. Gap up on the inside week, coming back through the previous range. So these three become an outside bar of all that, which is your monthly. And there were some nice fivers to get in here earlier. And I know not everybody's going to be a 5-minute trader, but it's important to understand how to get in when something's moving instead of just sitting there staring at it. Here, see this? Let me blow this up for you. Here's an inside 5. That's directional. You can take that. Or you wait for them to have some corrective activity. 2 up, 2 down, boom, you're in. Or here, 2 goes green, doesn't have time to make a 3, but then it does, compound 3. These are an outside bar of all that. So there's a lot of ways in there. You can wait for that. Slight lower low, 225er, boom, you're back in. Let me get back to it. All right, so if we go to, what else have we got going? We've got financials going. HIG had some news here, popping up here, HIG. And so you can see here on the 5-minute, slight lower low, boom, you're in. And it's something like this. Might even go down to a 1 or nope. How about a 3? Does a 3 look like? A little tricky on here, but the financials certainly after yesterday, the FAS, we know that was weak. FAS was kind of weak yesterday after that news, and then boom, comes flying back up. Here, once again, take out the high, take out the low, boom, 222, you're in. You got a bunch of that stuff, JP Morgan. And JP Morgan having a nice little day, Goldman Sachs. And you can look at XLF here, KRE. All right, so all these banks having a nice little day. Right now, this market's still backing off on the flip. You had Ameriprise Financial having a nice day here, too, in the financials. There you go. That's a little better. We can go down back to the 60 here. Now we'll see if we can get an inside 60. You can see how it was an inside week, poked down, and then as soon as this thing turns green, boom, this thing's going back outside week to the upside. Zion Bancorp here having a nice day, but we'll see a little quick on that. Let me shrink this down. I'll make sure we can see everything. And I'm running out of time again. I didn't think that was going to happen today. If we go to Viacom C. And Viacom C here, inside day, and they pounded it. We got a nice short off of that yesterday. Now, RevStrat, 1, 2, 2. Boom, as soon as it takes this out. 95.28, give me 97.84. We call that country and western. Nice short yesterday morning, and then boom, reverse and get back long. If we go to W, and W poking down a little bit on the 60 right now, but has my attention because of this. The inside month to the upside, and the inside week to the upside, right? So anytime this thing's green on all time frames, that has my attention. Market's still backing off on this flip, which is the bottom of the hour, right? Union Pac and the trannies coming up here to take out the inside month above 215.42. So you can watch that with some more rails like CSX. How you doing, buddy? All right, backing off a little bit. On the downside, we had crude. Crude coming in here. Inside day down for UCO, which is also a 2-2 week to the downside, right? And then you can see here on the 60-minute, inside, down, boom, right? There you go. So that tells us to keep an eye on some of these energy names. And, like Conoco here, not totally falling apart, but it is 2 up, 2 down on the week, right? That's something you'd want to know about, right? So there's a bunch of them. Slob, how you doing, buddy? Slob hanging in there, actually doing better. So we'll see. But Conoco, any of those things you can see, how's Fang Energy doing? It's kind of hanging there. So they're not really pounding those things, but Conoco's got that weekly signal. Netflix. And Netflix taking out yesterday's lows. That's something I want to know about because the market rallied on the Fed news. So anybody taking out yesterday's lows is something you certainly want to pay attention to. Netflix is also here on the inside month to the downside and red on the week. So anytime this thing's red, that's something I want to know about. Netflix having some problems here. If we go to the Gapper Fiver, five below here, and that comes straight in. We'll see. Now, if we're looking to hit magnitude, here's the weekly, outside, inside. So when it goes up, the target's to take this out, but then you want to stay out of there, right? Otherwise, you can go outside again and come right back in. Now you've got an outside day. Stalling out here a little bit, maybe getting inside 60. How's that on the 15? 15. See, it goes up here. Even if you missed all this, boom. This is a 2 up. This is a 2 down. 2-2 reversal back to the downside. If we go to SHLS. And SHLS having some problems taking out yesterday's lows. Potential outside weaker. And then if you go to the 60, let's go to the 30. 30. Here's what you do is you let it pop up. Here's your inside 30 for the counter. The slight higher high for the triangle of the out. Boom, right here. 2 up, 2 down, 30. Going to see if we can take that thing back to the lows. Some big boxers. Costco. I'm running out of time here. Costco taking out yesterday's lows, having some problems. That inside 30 down right now. How's Walmart doing? Walmart just kind of stuck. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So, it's a choppy market. We're going back and forth, and that's why you want to have that universe where you're watching those broader averages versus each other, and then every new 60 minute is like a new day. They're going back and forth, not a swing environment right now. All right, but that's going to do it for today. I'm Russ with the Smith and Black channel here, Ticker Talker Strat Time.